My name is Charlie McGrath. I'm the founder of WideAwakeNews.com. For over 4 years, we've witnessed the destruction of freedom in this country, across this planet. We've seen the rise of the security and military-industrial complex to heights not even imagined 10 years ago, 15 years ago. We've seen institutions that shouldn't be in existence. Not only are they whole and complete and healthy, they dominate your life. And if you think that's crazy talk, if you think that's conspiratorial, you better think again. We have a very small number of people, a very minute percentage of the population that are doing everything possible in order to hold on to the current power structure, the current system of control, and they're willing to do absolutely anything to maintain this control. And it doesn't matter where you are in the economic scale. It doesn't matter where you are in the socioeconomic scale. You will be affected by what's coming to this country and to this world. What is inevitable, what must occur to implement this very same agenda that has been announced for years now. Financial global governance, or in another word, global government. There is no stopping this. It is going to come to pass. We are heading into this perfect storm, like it or not, regardless if we get on our knees and pray every night, regardless if we stand up and holler in the streets or call our senator and congressman. This is going to occur. No way around it. Now, if you're living in the United States and you happen to watch the mainstream media here, you're dominated with stories about Mitt Romney and his tax returns, or Barack Obama and something he said at a meeting about who creates jobs or not. These are irrelevant. Irrelevant. It's put out there for our consumption, so we will be distracted and we will pretend that we have a horse in this fight. We will pretend that we have some kind of representative government because we jump on board the red Romney bandwagon, or we stay entrenched in the blue Obama team. Fact is, it really is regardless if we get Obama or Romney in November in this election. Do you understand? There is no difference between the two of them. If you want to know who is really running the show, look behind both of them. Look behind the fact that Goldman Sachs is the number one supporter so far for Mitt Romney. Goldman Sachs was the number one supporter of Barack Obama in 2008 going into the election season then. These are the people who we should be focused on. These are the people that have brought the planet to where it's at right now. Let's stop and think for a minute. We're sitting here in the summer of 2012 after 4+ years of complete destruction of liberty, complete destruction of freedom, complete gutting of what was once a great republic in order to save just a couple of firms. And the entire time this is occurring, we're being told this is for our own good. We have our best interest at heart. We have politicians that are bought and paid for by these same institutions that promise to change things. But there is no change coming. We need to realize this. There is no change coming. Regardless if it's Romney, Obama, it doesn't matter. Even at this point, the entrenched in Washington, D.C., and the entrenched on Wall Street in the City of London, they have the show. This is their game. The only way it's going to change is when they change it. Now, there's a lot of people that might think that sounds hopeless, but it's not hopeless. It's not. We just have to understand what they've done to this point and what's coming next. This is where we can achieve victory. This is where we can stand up and have a chance to regain freedom on this planet. So what's coming next? Well, I've talked about a perfect storm, and this perfect storm is here. Now, of course, if you follow the mainstream here, you're not going to understand where we're at politically, geopolitically, and economically around the planet. You're going to be told some kind of fictitious 8.2% number on unemployment. You're going to be told that when Mitt Romney gets in there, he's going to fix everything, and we're going to see growth, positive growth, more job creation. And you're going to hear Obama come out and say how we saved us all from a Great Depression. But none of that is true. In my opinion, none of this is even remotely true. We're hovering at Great Depressionary levels on unemployment. We've seen housing fall further than it did in the Great Depression. We see hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people fall off the participation rolls every time that number comes out, and we're told it's prosperity. So what's coming next? We've had years of rope-a-dope. We've had years of papering over. What is the final punchline? We are the final punchline. Total domination over this planet. This is the final punchline. How are they going to achieve this goal? How are they going to implement this agenda of global financial governance? And let's not make any mistake, global financial governance is global government. It is total control. They've announced how they're going to do it. They warn us every single day how they're going to do it. They're going to crash the economy globally, and then they're going to offer us a solution. There is our brief window. There is our window of hope. They will crash this system. They will. They've announced it. They're on their way doing it. If you look in Spain tonight, hundreds of thousands of people protesting and rioting, which is just another protest that we see in that region of the world. It's going to come here. We already see protests here. It's going to get worse. It's going to get worse here. And as it gets worse, we're going to be fed by the mainstream media, corporate-owned mainstream media, that there's a solution. And the solution is to give more power and control to the same people who run the country now. And I'm not talking about Obama. I'm not talking about Romney, Democrat, Republican. I'm talking about the bankster elite that write the legislation that govern this country. They're going to say, give them more control and more power, and they will make everything okay. Let us create a new currency. Let us create a new banking governance. In fact, today the IMF came out and said, Europe is on the brink. They've reached their limit of conferences, 19 in all so far, to solve the euro crisis. The one main thing that must happen now, according to the IMF, is to have a consolidation of the banking interest and laws that govern banking inside of Europe. But it is not going to stop there. It's going to be a speed bump to global dominance. This is their agenda that they've announced. This is their agenda that we don't have to guess about. It isn't conspiratorial. It isn't pessimism porn. It isn't doom and gloom. It is what they've told us they're going to do. We will realize a very brief window of time when they crash this system. We will take to the streets and either beg for a handout. We will beg them to save us and rescue us. And if we do, if this occurs, you and I will be debt slaves for life. Freedom will be crushed on this planet. Maybe never to return. We must understand, if we follow their game plan that they've announced, we will end up nothing more than debt slaves to these exact same people who tell us they have our best interest at heart. It's time to understand the next phase of this perfect storm. It is total global collapse, followed by total global pushback, followed by total global governance if we take the solution that is offered to us. Now, there's a lot of things that could go wrong for the power elite between now and then. You have a crisis. You have people waking up and realizing, in large part to alternative media, and in large part to just basic common sense. People are seeing the same jokers over and over again go before Capitol Hill and say, I'm doing the right thing. Give me a little bit more time, a little more money, a little bit more guarantee, a little bit more of your freedom, and we'll get everything fixed. And people are starting to wake up to this. The mainstream media doesn't cover all the outrage in this country, but it is there. It is there. We must stand together in what's coming next, because if we don't, we will fall together, and we will fall into a place that I frankly don't think anybody is prepared to see. We must stand together. We must realize where we're at. We must tell our friends and family, look, there is a storm coming, and it's going to be worse than 2008. It's going to be worse than 1929. It's going to be worse than anything anybody remembers on this planet, happening to them on this planet. You might be able to go to some Middle Eastern country, North African country, and see the kind of lifestyle that we're all heading towards, and it will be by design. They're using debt as a weapon of mass destruction, and this is one weapon. This is the most powerful weapon that has ever been created. It can decimate nations without firing a shot. It can enslave continents without one chain coming out. We must understand it is fiat from the word go, and it can be ended with the stroke of a key. That's it. We must stand together in what's coming next. Because if we don't, if we're fractured and we play the red and blue team game, and we play the he said, she said game, and we play the he's a copper guy, he's a silver guy, he's a gold guy, he's a fiat guy, if we play this divide and conquer game, guess what? We are going to lose. The perfect storm is upon us. It's time to understand that and get together, band together, stand as one, and say no to the solution that is going to be offered to us. Multitude of stories are attached. That's all I got.